Journaling is one of the most recommended habits in personal development. It's also one of the most abandoned. And the reason most people quit isn't lack of discipline, it's because they spent weeks writing a notebook and nothing actually changed. And in this video, why traditional journaling fails entrepreneurs, what directed reflection actually looks like, and an AI prompt that replaces your journal with daily coaching conversation that ends with action, not just awareness. Let's get into it. And if this is the kind of content that you're looking for, hit subscribe. I make videos specifically for entrepreneurs who are serious about operating at a higher level, no fluff, just what works. Let's go. Let me tell you what journaling actually looks like for most entrepreneurs. Day one, you're fired up. You buy the notebook, you sit down, you write about your goals and your vision and what you want your life to look like. It feels incredible. Day four, you write a few sentences about how busy you are. Day nine, you skip it because your morning got away from you. Day 14, the notebook is under a pile of mail. Does that sound familiar? Well, here's what's actually happening. Journaling, the way most people practice it, is unstructured. It's a blank page with no direction. And a blank page doesn't ask you hard questions. It doesn't push back. It doesn't force you to confront the things that you've been avoiding. It just accepts whatever you give it. So, what do most people give it? Surface level thoughts. Emotions they've already processed, frustrations they've already vented to someone else with. It feels like reflection, but it's not. It's just thinking out loud on paper with no structure and no output. And for an entrepreneur, someone who operates in complexity, makes high stakes decisions, and needs clarity to execute, thinking out loud isn't enough. You don't need a place to process your feelings. You need a system that extracts insights from your experience and converts them into your next move. That's a completely different thing. And almost nobody is teaching it. The problem isn't that journaling doesn't work. The problem is that most people are doing a version of journaling that was never designed to produce results. It was designed for self expression, not performance. And those two things are not the same. There's a concept I want you to understand. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's a difference between reflection and directed reflection. Regular reflection is looking backward. It processes what happened. It gives you a sense of closure or understanding, and it has value. I'm not dismissing it entirely, but directed reflection does something more. It takes what happened, extracts the lesson, and immediately connects it to a forward action. It doesn't just ask what happened, it asks, what does this mean? What does this require of me? What am I going to do differently starting now? That last question is one most journaling practices never reach. They process the past, but never bridge to the future. Think about the highest performing people in any field, athletes, CEOs, elite operators. They don't just reflect on their performance, they debrief it systematically with structure, and they always end with a decision or a commitment. That's directed reflection. And the gap between someone who does that daily and someone who doesn't compounds fast. Here's what directed reflection actually produces. Number one, clarity. Not just about what happened, but about what it means for where you're going. The other thing is pattern recognition, because when you ask the same structured questions every day, you start to see the same issues surfacing. And you can't ignore a pattern you've documented 20 times. But then we have action. That's the third one. A specific, concrete next step that comes directly out of the reflection session, not a vague intention, a decision. That's the output a high performing entrepreneur needs from a daily practice. And that's exactly what the right AI prompt delivers. Here's the core problem with a blank page: it never pushes back. You can write whatever you want, and the page accepts it. You can rationalize, you can minimize, you can avoid the real issue entirely, and the page will never call you out on it. A well structured AI prompt doesn't work that way. When you set it up correctly, and I'm going to show you exactly how, the AI asks you specific questions in a specific sequence. It probes, it reflects the answers back to you. It asks follow up questions that go deeper than the surface. It does what a great coach does, except it's available every single morning. It never has a bad day, and it never lets you off the hook just because you seem uncomfortable. And here's the part that most people underestimate: the AI synthesizes. After you've worked through the reflection section, it takes everything you've shared and gives you a summary of the insight, and then it generates your next action step. One clear, specific thing to execute based on what just came out of the conversation. That's the bridge from reflection to execution that traditional journaling almost never builds. You go in with whatever's on your mind, you come out with clarity on what it means and a concrete next move every single day. That compounds in a way that's hard to overstate because clarity applied consistently is one of the most powerful performance advantages an entrepreneur can have. And most people are leaving it on the table because they're staring at a blank notebook page waiting for inspiration. So here's how the daily session works. You sit down in the morning or evening if that's your rhythm, you open your AI tool, you paste in the prompt that I'm about to give you, and then you just talk. The prompt is designed to open with one question, just one, something that cuts straight to what's present for you right now, not a list of 20 things to journal about, one focused entry point. From there, the AI guides the conversation. It listens to your answers and asks you the questions based on what you said. It's not a rigid script, it's a directed dialogue, and it moves through three stages. Stage one, what's present? What's on your mind right now? What's the thing you woke up thinking about? The opportunity, the problem, the decision, the feeling you haven't fully processed yet. This stage gets out of your head and into the open. Stage two, what it means. This is where the AI earns its value. It takes what you shared and asks the deeper questions. Why does this matter? What's underneath it? What are you actually afraid of or excited about or avoiding? This is the stage that traditional journaling skips. And then we have stage three, what's next? This is the action bridge. Based on everything that came out of stages one and two, what is the one thing you're going to do today? Not five things, not a revised to do list, one thing that moves the needle on what actually matters. The whole session takes 5 to 8 minutes, and you walk away with more clarity than most people get from an hour of unstructured journaling. The key, same as the weekly audit, is honesty. Go deep. Don't give the AI surface answers. Treat it like a coaching session because that's exactly what it is. The most successful entrepreneurs I've ever seen, the ones who operate at a genuinely elite level, all have one thing in common. They know themselves. They know their patterns, their triggers, their blind spots, their strengths. They've built practices that keep that self knowledge current and sharp, not something they figured out once and filed it away. That's what a daily directed reflection practice builds. Over time, it becomes one of your most valuable competitive advantages because while everyone else is reacting, you're operating from clarity. You don't need a fancy notebook. You don't need a 2 hour morning routine. All you need is just 5 minutes, an honest answer, and the right question. So here's the prompt. Open up ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever AI tool you use. Paste this in exactly as I'm about to read it. You are a high performance coach running my daily directed reflection session. Your job is to guide me through three stages. One, surface what is most present for me right now. Two, go deeper to find the real meaning or pattern underneath it. And three, identify one specific action I will take today based on what came up. Rules: ask one question at a time. Wait for my answer before continuing. Do not summarize or coach until I've answered all three stages. Push back if my answers are vague or surface level. At the end, give me one key insight from our conversation, one specific action I'm committing to today, not a list, one thing. Begin with this question only. What is the one thing that is most on your mind right now, the thought, decision, or feeling you haven't fully resolved yet? Wait for my answer before asking anything else. That's it. That's the whole practice. 5 to 8 minutes every day. I've also put the prompt in the description below so you don't have to write it down. Just copy it, paste it, use it tomorrow morning. All right. So if you got value from this video, make sure you like this video, subscribe, share it with one entrepreneur who needs a wake up call. That is how we grow this community, one high performer at a time. Stay locked in, learn, lead, and live to your full potential.